Welcome to another edition of the Professional Mindset. I'm glad to have you. And tonight, we're going to be talking briefly on why some people never reach their full potential. Why is it that people never get to reach their full potential? And that's what we shall be handling tonight. And I am so excited because this is going to help a lot of you. This is going to help a lot of you to catch up certain elements and understandings of life. You know, many people are gifted, many people are intelligent, people have dreams, but very few truly reach out to the potential they have. Yes, despite the giftings, only very few actually reach the fullness of their potential. And that's why tonight we want to establish and understand why is it that despite the talents that people have, despite the wisdom some have, despite the knowledge they have, they still don't get to establish the fullness of their potential. Many get old with the potential they have, they don't get to experiment it. Welcome to the life, Mimi Elegant Supply. I can see you. The Oracle S3I1C. Welcome to the live. Thank you for joining. Just double tap on your screen to like the video, and you can share to invite as many as possible. Some people spend years. Welcome, Celestine. I can see you, Sister Celestine. Welcome. Thank you for joining the live. Some people spend years being promising, but they never become impactful. Never. You know, some always talk about what they could have become, but their life never changes. Some have dreams, some have visions, some have desires, but nothing happens. Why is it that nothing gets to happen? Why is it that despite the dreams, despite the desires, despite the strong convictions, despite the aspirations many people have, they still don't grow in life? They don't get to the full potential. Now, I am very much aware that some of us lived in the African setup where there are a lot of misconceptions with some spiritualities being brought in. But then I want us to tackle the physical understanding of the mindset of people. Why is it that despite the fact that they are educated, despite the fact that they are hardworking, despite the fact that they put in the effort, they put in the dedication, yet they are unable to get to the fullness of their potential? What is happening? What is limiting the growth of many people in today's dispensation? Thank you so much for joining the live. Double tap on your screen to like the video, and you can drop in your comments in the comment section. Any questions you have, as far as we go ahead, you drop them in the comment section and I shall attend to you. Welcome to the live, Rose David. Welcome to the live. Welcome to the live, Rose. Thank you for joining. Now, let's look at something here. We are going to discuss some hidden reasons why many people never become who they are capable of becoming. They don't become who they are capable, meaning they become something different. They don't actually become who they are supposed to be based on the dreams they have, based on the visions they have. Welcome, Nikma. I think that's Baulin. Welcome to the live. Why is it that they don't become the fullness of what they are supposed to be? So, briefly tonight, we are going to address that. Briefly, we address that. If you have not subscribed to the channel, please click the subscription and click the notification bell so that you'll be informed whenever we have sessions like this. The first thing we should note is the fear of failure. keeps many people small. The fear of failure. That is why many people don't experiment the fullness of their potential. The fear of failure. So far as you are afraid to fail, success becomes very difficult to attain. Success becomes very difficult to achieve once failure fear starts coming in. The fear of failure. Many people are afraid. What if I fail? What if I venture into this thing and I fail? Listen, it is normal to fail, but don't allow the fear of failure become a reason why you cannot venture into the purpose, into the visions which you have for yourself. It is normal to be afraid. It is normal. But don't let fear become the controlling factor of your personality, of your aspirations, and of your desires. One of the biggest destroyers of potential is fear. One of the biggest desires of potential, the biggest destroyers of potential is fear. Once fear gets involved, destruction is already on its way. Now, this is one thing I need you to note about failure. Okay? Note this about failure. Many people stay in safe environments forever because they are afraid. So, by virtue of the fact that you are afraid, you stay in a safe environment forever. Welcome to the life. Jesus Christ 30,000. Thank you for joining. Double tap on your screen to like the video. Subscribe to our channel if you have not yet subscribed. Now, fear prevents action. Fear prevents action. So, by virtue of the fact that you are afraid, you don't take actions. By virtue of the fact that you are afraid, it becomes difficult to take actions. Fear prevents actions. So, don't let fear captivate you from making a move. Don't let fear hinder you from taking a step. Don't let fear make you keep procrastinating. No, take the step. Take the step. All right? Learn from the errors you make. And when you learn from the errors you make, it becomes very easy now for you to make a step ahead. Take a step. Take a step. Failure is part of development. Failure is part of development. If you don't fail, there are some lessons you will never learn. If you don't fail, there are lessons you will never learn. A lot of lessons will never be learned if failure is not involved. You have to fail to learn. A person who has never failed before is a person who will never succeed. Show me a man today that is very successful. I will show you a man that has failed multiple times before becoming successful. Yes. So if everything about your life has been very smooth, if everything has just been perfect, 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 you are failed. That's failure already. The absence of failure is the actual presence of failure. Yes. The absence of failure is the actual presence of failure. Don't be afraid to fail. Make the errors, correct the errors, and continue from there. Make the errors, correct the errors, and continue from there. In whatever aspect, that is one way to push you to the fullness of your potential. That is one way to push you to the totality of what you are supposed to become in life. Now, let's get something here. You cannot grow beyond the risk you are unwilling to take. You cannot grow beyond the risk you are unwilling to take. Meaning, if you are not willing to take risk, you cannot grow beyond that risk. You can only grow according to the level of risk you are ready to take. That is uncertainty of the future. So if you cannot take risk, then growth is very far from you. If you cannot take, life is risky, okay? Failure to take risk is already risk itself. If you don't take risk, you are already risky. Yes. Meaning, if you can take risk, then you are prepared to succeed. But your inability to take risk is already risky. So don't live in a risky situation by being unable to take risk. Rather, take the risk to move out of the risk. How many opportunities have you missed because you were afraid to start? Ask yourself. How many opportunities have you missed? A lot of opportunities. Why? Because you were afraid to start. Look at it well. If you had started that business 5 years ago, would you have been at this level? Ask yourself, if you had started that organization 2 years ago, would you have been at this level? Ask yourself, if you had started that project last year as you wanted to start, how far would you have gone? But fear of failure kept you bound. The fear of failure kept you bound. Refuse to be afraid. Refuse to be afraid. Refuse to be afraid. That is what should be in your mind. That is the understanding you're supposed to have. Oh, we're sorry about the light failures we have. That is what should be in your mind. Refuse to be afraid. Refuse to be afraid. Keep pushing. Keep pushing. No matter the scenario, refuse to be afraid. Keep pushing. Keep moving. Keep moving. Sorry, we live in a part of the continent where electricity is unpredictable, on and off per second, but we keep going. Welcome, God's Breeze. Thank you for joining the live. You're highly welcome. The second reason why many don't reach the fullness of their potential is lack of discipline. Listen, lack of discipline destroys talent. Lack of discipline destroys talent. When you don't have discipline, your talent will be destroyed easily without stress. When you lack discipline, talent is easily destroyed. Lack of discipline. Lack of discipline. Now, this is what you should understand as far as discipline is involved. Talent gives people attention early in life. Get the emphasis. Talent gives attention early in life, but discipline is what sustains your growth to keep the attention coming. When you are talented at a very early stage, you will have attention drawn to you. But what keeps the attention, what makes your talent consistent is the discipline you apply to it. Now, let me break down the discipline into different fields, okay? First thing first, consistency. Consistency is what comes as a result of discipline. So, lack of consistency kills progress. What is consistency? Doing it over and over and over and over. When you do it over and over and over and over, that is where consistency comes in. And doing it over and over and over can only be possible when there is discipline. You know what it means to tell yourself that you're going to be studying at 3 a.m. every day. We know that 3 a.m. that's the best time where you really feel sleepy. That's the time when you have the best of dreams, the sweetest dreams ever. That's when there's some kind of cold that blows around and just needs you to cover yourself with some kind of warmth. But it takes discipline to pull yourself. It takes discipline to pull yourself against that situation. It takes discipline to push you to focus. It takes discipline. Motivation fades away easily, but discipline keeps you on the track. Motivation fades away, but discipline keeps you on the track. What is motivation? Motivation is that push, that desire, that inner, because motivation is in two forms. What we call intrinsic and extrinsic, meaning you can be motivated from within And you can be motivated from an external source. I think those that have done something like management, like human resource, project management, they must have seen something like this. Motivation can either come from within or it can come from without. So you can either be motivated from yourself or by the people around you. Now, motivation will fade. That's the simple truth. Motivation will fade away. Why did you join that business? Because you were motivated by the profits that others were making. You got into the business 1 month, 2 months, 3 months, 4 months, 5 months. You're not seeing any profit. You're not seeing any income. Motivation will fade away. You no longer feel motivated. But what will keep you going is discipline, because discipline will teach you consistency. What keeps you going is discipline, because discipline teaches you what? Consistency. That's what motivation disappears and discipline takes over. That's what you should have in your mind. Don't move because you're motivated. Put down a disciplinary structure. If not, you will never reach the fullness of your potential. Never. Successful people rely on systems and habits. Successful people, they rely on what? On systems, and they rely on habits. Where there are no systems put in place, there is no check, failure is bound to happen. If you cannot rely on a system, build a system. This is what is supposed to be done. Automatically, you already have it in mind that this is how it's being done. Automatically, you already have it in mind. Build a system. Build a system. When you build a system, it becomes very easy for you to push through. It becomes very easy for you to expand the fullness of your potential when a system is being built. Daily discipline compounds over time. Daily discipline, okay? Have it in mind. Daily discipline compounds over time, meaning when you can do it daily, little by little, little by little, little by little, little by little, it will become massive. There's a popular saying that little drops of water, what do they form? An ocean. Little drops of water form an ocean. A journey of 1,000 miles actually begins in a day. Yeah, a journey of 1,000 miles begins in a day. So if you cannot begin with a step, if you cannot begin in one day, if you cannot begin with a little, it becomes very difficult for you to push it ahead. Okay, start with a step and 1,000 miles will follow. Start in one day and thousands of years will follow. Start in 1 minute and hundreds of hours will follow. That is what gives you the go ahead. If you're with me, let me see your reaction in the comment section and we go ahead. The third thing that limits people, the third thing that limits people from pushing forward, the third thing that limits people from attaining the fullness of their potential is the comfort zone. Listen, if you are living in your comfort zone, oh God, destruction. Stop living in your comfort zone. Stop living in your comfort zone. What is the comfort zone? That point where you get to and you feel that all is well. What is the comfort zone? That level which when you get to, you feel like you no longer have a problem. What is the comfort zone? That position where you don't need to put any effort again. You are satisfied with what you have. That's the comfort zone. But I bet you, if you live in the comfort zone, destruction is easily attainable. When you live in the comfort zone, it will quietly kill your growth. The comfort zone kills growth. It kills growth. As we go ahead, in case you have any questions, just drop them in the comment section and I will respond to them as I go ahead. The comfort zone quietly kills your growth. Now, let's give you a few things you should know about the comfort zone, okay? Now, for you to grow, it requires discomfort. For you to grow, it requires discomfort. You need to subjugate yourself under a discomfortable situation in order to grow. Let me use the example of a student, for example. You have an examination ahead of you. Let's say you're about to write an exam. What you need to do is to study. The normal, comfortable mindset of a student is to sleep, wake up, go to class, attend lectures, get back home, rest, eat, do whatever you want to do, feel free, do what appeals to you. But because there is an examination awaiting you, you now have to subjugate yourself to painful conditions of sitting down to study. You are moving out of your comfort zone. You subjugate yourself to a painful situation of sitting down to study. That now is moving out of the comfort zone. So leave your comfort zone because it kills. All right. Growth requires discomfort. Growth requires discomfort. If you're just joining us, welcome to this episode. Just double tap your screen to like the video and drop comment. Familiar environments can limit your ambition. Familiar environments. When you're too familiar with the environment, you know what's familiarity? Familiarity means I've seen it all. Nothing else now. What is new? What is new? What is new? That's familiarity. Some of you have become too familiar with people around you that you can no longer identify your destiny helper. Child. You have become too familiar with the people around you to a level that you can no longer distinguish between a man that can help you and the one that can no longer help you. So when your destiny helper shows up, you're like, is it not just this one? I was with him yesterday now. Were we not just playing around? Familiarity. So don't become too familiar with your environment. Don't become too familiar with the environment. Oh, I can hear you. You're at work. Okay. You understand the situation. Don't become too familiar with your environment. Don't become too familiar. All right. There are elements in your environment that will make you grow. There are elements in your environment that will change the level at which you are. Don't become too familiar with your environment. When you become too familiar with your environment, it becomes a problem. It becomes a problem. Don't be too familiar with your environment. Don't be too familiar with your environment. Change it. Change that perspective. Change that perspective. Change that perspective. Are we together? Oh, Apostles TV. Welcome. Thank you for joining the live. Everything you want in life usually exists outside of your comfort zone. Everything you want in life usually exists where? Outside of your comfort zone. If you can step outside of the comfort zone, you will find everything you want. You'll find everything you want. You'll find everything you want. Just step outside of the comfort zone and you'll find it. The fourth thing, number four, we are running out of time, so I'll try to be very fast. The fourth thing that delays people from reaching or from attaining the fullness of their potential is overthinking. Overthinking. Don't think too much, act. Don't think too much, act. Don't think. All right. Some people think too much and they act very little. Don't think too much, act. Take actions, take actions, take actions. Thinking does not help you when you think too much. No. take actions. Excessive thinking is not necessary in today's dispensation. Learn while acting. Stop thinking, learn while acting. Okay, now let's take for example, you want to market a product. What's in here? Okay. You want to market a product. Okay, so let's assume this is the product we are trying to market here. And you have decided to design it and say, this is good. Okay, I want to market this one. Afterwards, I say, no, 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 no. Before I market it, I need something that will package it. Okay, we have packaged it. Market it. No, 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 no. I don't like the color. I think it will be better if we change it to white. Okay, we change it to white. No, 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 no. The current trend now, white is not too good. Let's change it to green. We change it to green. No, 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 no. I want to market it this way. Let's wait until we have enough money that will just flood in the whole market and we sell it everywhere. You will find out that after 10 years, you're still working on the same product and you have not marketed it yet. You will still find out after 20 years that you're still working on the same product and you have not been able to market it yet. No, stop overthinking. Overthinking is not what you need. Overthinking is not what you need. Stop overthinking. If we were in some kind of conference, I would have said, tell your neighbor, stop thinking too much. Write in the comment section, stop thinking too much. Start acting. Stop thinking too much. Start acting. Action is better than thinking. Stop thinking too much. Start acting. All right? That idea of perfectionism, it delays progress. If you want to be perfect before you start, you will delay progress. If you want to be perfect before you start, it will delay your progress. It will delay your progress. Don't wait for perfection. Waiting for the perfect time is wastage of time. Waiting for the perfect time is wastage of time. Waiting for the perfect time is wastage of time. All right. Most at times, you actually get clarity when you have started. Most at times, you get clarity when you have started. When you have started, clarity comes in. When you have started, clarity comes in. So don't waste too much time thinking. Start acting. Start acting. And point number 5, the reason why many people don't attain their full potential. Wrong environment limits potential. The wrong environment limits potential. Yes, yes. Meaning familiarity should be off. Yes, familiarity should be off. Wrong environment limits potential. Okay. When your environment is wrong, when your environment is wrong, your potential is delayed. When your environment is wrong, your potential is delayed, is limited. Yes, Mimi, it means familiarity should be out of the way. Familiarity should be out of the way. Don't be too familiar with the people around you. Okay? See beyond playmates, see beyond discussion agents, see beyond gisting partners. Look for the potential in them that you can tap from. That's what we mean by familiarity being put aside. See beyond the usual gisting you do every day. See beyond the usual jokes you crack every day. See beyond the usual play. Pick out the potential inside those around you, and you will realize that you were dealing with a whole bunch of help. You were dealing with a whole bag filled with potential, but you were not aware. Yeah, so push familiarity aside and see beyond the people around you. Okay, build a value. So we are saying that wrong environment limits potential. Every environment affects the way you think. Every environment affects the way you reason. Your environment affects you. There was one time I said in one of our videos that a person that lives in Cameroon, for example, does not reason the same like the one that lives in Nigeria. What's the difference? Environment. The person that lives in Africa does not reason the same like the one that lives in America. What's the difference? Environment. There's a difference. Environment. So environment limits your growth. Be careful the kind of environment you find yourself in. Be careful the kind of environment you find yourself in. People reason differently because of where they come from. Somebody that comes from India, number one, the dress code will be different. Communication, different. Language, different. Everything different from somebody in Cameroon, in Nigeria, in Tanzania, in Togo, in Benin Republic. Why? Environment. 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 So be careful when you realize that your environment is not promoting the potential within you. Leave that environment. Every environment that kills your growth, leave it. If you realize that your circle of friends are those that limit your growth, move out of there. So when we talk about environment, we're not just referring to artificial or breathless things. Okay, we're referring to both human beings. They make up your environment. All right. We have what we call the internal and the external environment. The internal environment is more of where you come from, your home. The external environment now is the different policies that people put outside that can affect you. Maybe the way your government policies into getting into business, that's external. Yes. So ensure that your environment is the one that can promote your growth. Ensure that your environment is the one that can push you forward. If your environment cannot push you to grow, if your environment cannot carry you outside the limit, then there is a problem, a very big problem.